I'm not the first to say this, and I'm sure I won't be the last either. The One Piece live action is good. It just might be the first successful live action anime adaptation in history, which would be a heck of a brag for a series like One Piece that already has a lot to boast about, such as being the most successful comic book in history, beating out even Superman, as well as the most successful long-running anime in history, over 24 years and counting. I want to make something clear though. We might be praising the series a little bit too soon, as I'm still unsure if someone completely uninitiated to One Piece will like it. It is absolutely faithful to the source material, amazingly so, and I would personally love to see more of the live action, but we have to be ready for the possibility that this series will only be a hit among pre-existing One Piece fans, who are already used to the goofy tone of the series and already know enough about the story to push past the slow moments, which are both advantages that a new viewer would not have. That said, I do have high hopes, and I expect that it will only get much better from here on out. The actors will get more comfortable in their roles, the writers at Netflix and Oda's team will work together better as time goes on, and the series will start to hit its stride before too long, provided the show doesn't get cancelled for some unforeseen reason. On that note, I'm not sure how the live action will handle things later on in the series if it does go the distance, such as Luffy's Gear 4 and even more pressing, Gear 5. As for Gear 5 specifically, I'm personally imagining something akin to that 2000s movie The Mask with Jim Carrey in it, but with much better CGI. But that's getting way ahead of ourselves, so it's probably best to save that speculation for later. I am a huge fan of what I've seen already from the show. I think they really nailed Zoro and Sanji especially. I'm a fan of Zoro's quiet edginess, and Sanji's attitude is on par with his character in the main series. I will say though, as a dub watcher, it is especially weird for me to get used to all the new voices. But of all the cast so far, Sanji's was surprisingly the easiest. His voice is nowhere near as gruff as his English voice actor in the anime, and of course there's the accent, but I think it fits him. As for the rest of the crew, Usopp landed for me right away. Luffy took some getting used to for me, the accent being the main reason, unlike Sanji, but also the fact that his dialogue is a little bit too smart for Luffy, and it kind of throws the immersion off a little bit. That said, now that I've finished the season, I actually like this Luffy. It's a different take on the character, but not so different that it doesn't feel like him. Nami took a little bit more time to adjust because of the unnatural orange hair color, not her fault, I know, but also because her attitude was just a little too edgy for me. But as the show went on, this rendition of the Straw Hats grew on me, and at points while watching it, I found myself so immersed in the One Piece story that it wasn't fully registering that I was watching a live-action rendition of it. That's how accurate this live-action anime adaptation is. It's even scene-specifically accurate at several points. Overall, the thing I'm most happy with is the fact that the creators did not try to make One Piece a kids show. Before the series was released, I had a fear that Netflix was going to try to market it towards kids because the series does look silly and cartoonish. But despite its light overtones, One Piece is definitely anything but, with very serious themes and plot points throughout the story, not to mention innuendos and cursing. To do the series justice, the live action would need to capture all of those same elements, and in only 8 episodes at that. I wasn't sure what to expect going into it, but after watching the whole season, I think they definitely nailed it. This is not a series that kids should be watching. Rather, it is more like a kids show for adults, marketed towards adults and written for them. And that's exactly how the One Piece anime feels to me. It's fun to watch, it's funny, and it's really immersive. And the live action really has that same energy. To shift gears a bit, I'm really loving how Oda, because he is directly involved in the live action production, is using the show to expand upon and confirm things from the manga and the community at large. For example, at least twice in the show, Zoro is confirmed to be Luffy's first mate, which is a basic fact that has been implied for the entire show, but has been debated at length mainly by Zoro and Sanji fans. Also, the live action added a scene based on a throwaway line from Zoro about being approached by Baroque works in the past, which was incredibly well done and added a mystique to Zoro's life as a pirate hunter that wasn't really present very much in early One Piece. And lastly, and this could just be me, but I really appreciated how the showrunners made a point of having Mihawk not only one-tap Don Krieg, but also to have him do so off-screen. This is something that fans, especially power scalers, make a big note of in the manga, because typically if a character gets killed off-screen, it means that they were either incredibly weak or their killer is incredibly strong, or in this case both. This was a great way to introduce Mihawk and show respect to his power level, even if there wasn't all that much they could do to flex it because this is still the East Blue Saga. One last thing I want to talk about is how Luffy seems to speak for the audience at several points throughout the show. Namely when Nami was trying out clothes at Kaya's house and she asked Luffy what he thought, and he told her, "You look like Nami," which was exactly what was going through my mind. And again, a couple episodes later, when Arlong tells Luffy he was expecting him to be someone bigger, Luffy responds with, "So was I," which I think was a reference to how I and probably many other fans were expecting Arlong to be huge, like he is in the anime, when instead he is much closer to human-sized. On that note, I think Arlong looked good, but I have to say he was the weakest point in the live action for me. But those are just my thoughts on the live action. What did you think about it? Are you excited to see more, or did you cut it off after seeing the transponder snail? Let me know in the comments and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and take it easy.